Welcome, gentlemen and lady. Though I confess I feel a bit responsible for this seance, I wrote a book that turned you, Master Ramus, into something of a tragic figure. And now, here you are before me. History is a risky form of resurrection.
I thank you, Father Ong, though I must protest that you rendered me too mechanistic. I was no mere bureaucrat of logic. My method was a way to clarify, not to stifle invention. The schools of my day were drowning in the murk of disputation. I sought light, order, reason.
And yet, in lighting that lamp, you perhaps blinded us to dialogue. In your diagrams, the branching trees of dichotomies, speech yields to sight, the ear cedes to the eye. You helped move Western consciousness from oral encounter to visual abstraction.
You make it sound as though I invented typography itself. I merely wished for students to follow clear paths of reasoning, not to wander endlessly in the labyrinth of topics. Surely, Father, even you delight in a tidy syllabus.
As one who spent her career building curricula, I sympathize, Peter. But clarity and method are not enough. Invention, the art of discovering what to say, cannot be reduced to a chart. Students need heuristics that invite thinking, not just maps that display it.
Heuristics? Another Greek ghost.
Not a ghost, an educational principle. In my century, we had to reclaim invention from your tidy trees. For a long time, composition courses were Ramist in spirit, correctness and form over discovery. We needed to remind ourselves that rhetoric is not only the arrangement of ideas, but their creation.
If I am to be reconciled, it must be on rational grounds. You speak of research in rhetoric. What can such research be? Do you experiment with syllogisms?
Not quite. We analyze how people think and write in context. We study composing as process, not product. My generation insisted that rhetoric deserved empirical and theoretical inquiry, not just prescriptive handbooks. It's closer to Aristotle's spirit than to your dichotomies.
Aristotle, yes, the old master who mingled logic and rhetoric promiscuously. He would make any Jesuit proud of dialectic.
Did someone call? I heard my name echo through too many centuries. Why are you all arguing about me again?
Only out of admiration, sir. Your rhetoric gave us invention as the art of discovering the available means of persuasion. We are tracing how that art fared after your time.
I see. Well, I meant it as common sense. Study audiences, purposes, and occasions. The rest is commentary. By the gods, what happened here? You have pruned the art into an orchard of binaries.
Order clarifies thought.
Order can also mummify it.
I rather like when he does that, appears, scolds, and disappears. It saves on footnotes. But let us return to your defense, Master Ramus. You wrote in Dialecticae Institutiones that invention belonged to logic, not rhetoric. That shift, modest as it seemed, emptied rhetoric of its generative power. I merely followed that thread to see what happened to our ways of knowing.
You historians always find decay where I saw reform. My students needed discipline, not the theater of endless disputation. If the art of speaking well was to serve the modern world, it had to be systematic.
And yet the modern world you helped found eventually produced bureaucratic prose, standardized tests, and classrooms where invention was forgotten. We had to rescue rhetoric from its own efficiency.
There's a pattern here: oral to literate, communal to individual, spontaneous to structured. Each gain entails a loss. Ramus provided the grammar of method. You, Janus, restore the play of discovery. Between the two lies the story of Western consciousness.
You make me the villain of modernity. Perhaps I should have stayed with Quintilian's Humanitas rather than Luther's logic. Yet, Father, is it not true that your age loved method as much as mine? Your Jesuit classrooms, your catechisms, all diagrams in disguise.
Touché. The Jesuits indeed mastered method, but we used it to cultivate eloquentia perfecta, the harmony of thought and speech. My quarrel with your legacy was not method itself, but method divorced from dialogue, from presence.
That's what drew many of us back to you, Father Ong. Your idea that technologies of communication shape consciousness helped us see writing and later digital media as environments, not just tools. When I built programs in rhetoric, I wanted students to study those environments empirically, historically, philosophically. That's why we call it research.
Then rhetoric has returned as a science at last.
A human science, yes, but one that admits uncertainty. We measure not only outcomes, but also possibilities. Our method must remain heuristic, not doctrinal. That's a lesson you might appreciate if you'd seen students facing the blank screen instead of the blank page.
The screen? Some new parchment?
Ah, yes, the latest step in our ongoing migration from orality to literacy to what I once called secondary orality, a medium that listens as it writes, rather like the unseen AI transcriber humming behind us now.
You mean this voice is being captured by a machine? Heaven help the poor scribe.
It's not so bad. Machines have given us new ways to write, to analyze, to collaborate. Some fear we're losing human invention again, but I think we're just witnessing another transformation in the rhetoric of method.
Precisely. Each technology reshapes what we mean by presence and audience. The computer revives something oral in writing. It speaks back. In that sense, we may be returning in paradoxical fashion to Aristotle's agora.
Then perhaps I shall not apologize for my diagrams. They prepared the way for these computational trees, did they not? You call them algorithms. They are my descendants.
I'll grant you that, Peter, but your algorithms need our heuristics to stay humane.
A fine epitaph for modernity. Algorithms require heuristics. I may borrow that for my next posthumous essay.
Father Ong, you have described me as a symptom of the visual age. Yet perhaps I was only trying to make visible what rhetoric had long hidden. If method is dangerous, it is because it works.
True, and the historian's task is to reveal both the work and the danger. I called your reform a decay of dialogue, but decay can fertilize renewal. Without your method, perhaps rhetoric would never have needed revival.
And without Ong's history, we might never have known what we'd lost. The recovery of invention depends on both, the system that constrains and the critique that frees.